Hi, my name is Roy Healy, and I expand people's awareness. And today I want to talk about upgrading your life. It is possible, no matter what situation you're in, good, bad, or indifferent, you can actually improve it and make yourself happier and, well, just in all areas, really. So let me get into that then. So, Norman Vincent Peale. When I heard about, I think we all know about the power of positive thinking. I used to think it was an add-on. I thought it was an extra. It wasn't it was just something nice, a luxury that if you had it and it was fine. But I found out since that it's how the world works. We really need to know. But what Norman Vincent Peale was saying was really the tip of the iceberg. What we need to be doing is lots more than that. We need to be at the very minimum have positive thinking, but that's at the minimum. So I want to get into what else we should be adding to that. Here's a chappie called Don Gossett who talks about what you say is what you get. What you say is what you get. This book came out years and years ago. Lots of different similar type of books. This happens to be a Christian book. Faith can move mountains. What's that? How can faith move mountains? How does that work? Can you actually move mountains? Is that possible? I think it is. In fact, I know it is. My friend Mike Dooley, he talks about thoughts become things. Thoughts become things, and he has built his whole career, whole life on teaching people how thoughts become things. So what they're all talking about is the law of attraction. What they're all linked to is the law of attraction. And it's not my favorite term for it, but it is a law that takes place in the universe, and perhaps it's linked to the law of intention. It's linked to, I like to really actually call it the law of creation, but that's the closest to it. But neither of those things are really accurate. But we'll call it the law of attraction with the general populace at the moment, or the growth, personal growth people, or whoever uses it. It's the law of attraction. So it's a law just like Newton's law, just like the law of gravity. It really is a law that affects us in the universe and that is there and that we have to deal with. So gravity affects us whether we take notice of it or not, and whether we like it or not. And the same with the law of attraction. It really does affect us. So we need to know, we've learned how to deal with gravity. If we want to go up at a pace, we put a fire underneath us, underneath the rocket, and off it goes. So we can, the law of attraction, we know how to, the law of gravity, we know how to deal with it, how it works. So it's the same with the law of attraction. We need to know how that works and how to deal with it so that we can use it to our advantage. Now, the Rhonda Byrne's book, The Secret, it talks about that. That's really its main theme, is about the law of attraction. And in it, she tells you that you can get jewelry. You can attract all sorts of jewelry. You just have to think about it and you get it. You can get housing, any house you want. She said you can live in any house. You can do whatever you want. If you want a car, you just have to think about it and off you go. You get yourself a nice car. Relationships, those are the main things she talks about. You can get relationships. You just have to think in the right direction and you get relationships. She talks about lots of different stuff. She actually goes into healing, why people get healed, and that you can attract healing. And she calls it the biggest secret. Well, it is a secret anyway, because we don't really know how to use it. But is she right? Is that correct? So I agree 100% with her. The law of attraction can get you anything you want. It does get you anything you want. I'm going to just give you a little example. I cycled a lot in South Africa. This is on the Cape Peninsula doing the Argos. I did the Argos 10 times, and this is actually cycling there. But it wasn't. I've got a few stories about cycling, as you can imagine. I cycled for about 35 years and still a little bit cycling there. But I came to the island and I didn't have just setting up and just getting going. I didn't have an awful lot of money to get going. So I just got a cheap little bicycle. And what I did is I sat on that cheap bicycle and imagined and enjoyed it being a fancy bicycle with shock absorbers and disc brakes and all the other things, nice handlebars and whatever. And as I was driving the old bicycle, I imagined that I would be on a new bicycle, not a new one, a nice fancy one. And sure enough, within about 2 or 3 weeks, I was riding on. I had enough money, and I had a nice fancy bicycle. So that's just one small example of how I got it working for me. But the problem is, with surveys being done, and these surveys are always interesting because numbers is everybody sprouts numbers. But they say that only 3% of people who have watched The Secret have actually got it working for them. 3%. Now, I mentioned in another video, when I actually watched it, I realized there was some truth, but I realized there was a lot behind it, and it needed to get it working. I wanted to know how it actually worked. This is really, when I saw that, I thought that looks pretty good. It rang true in my heart. But I thought it understood at the time it would be more complicated. I wanted to know exactly what made the law of attraction, what made The Secret of the shoot, they were calling it at the time. How does that work? And that's the rub. It is difficult to get working. That's why most of them don't. It doesn't work for you. So, and one of the reasons is because, as Job says in the Bible, in the book of Job, the fear that I fear comes upon you. So not only the good things you want, a good bicycle and a good jewelry and a good house, not only can you get those things, the only trouble is the bad things, as you think about them, they come upon you as well, and you end up having those as well. So that was why it's much more complicated and more difficult to get. And one of the other reasons why we don't get what we want when we think about what we want is because we don't know what we want. We really don't. Most of us don't actually know. I mentioned in a previous video that you have to have goal setting. That's one of the reasons I want you to write down your goals, because then you've got a much better chance of getting there than if you don't. So we need to know what we want. Then our heart. I've got some fabulous examples of our heart and our head not agreeing. And our mind's not agreeing. I was coaching somebody, counseling somebody, and he comes in and he tells me, he wants to get married. And I said, no, you don't. And it turns out when we actually looked at it all, he didn't. At the time, he didn't want to get married, but I coached him along the way and counseled him along the way. And I went to his wedding, met a fabulous lady, and he got married. But at the time, his head said he wants to get married, but his heart didn't. And we had to get the two together so that you can get the results that you're actually wanting. Then also we have a lot of baggage. We've got baggage in our lives, things that happen to us, things that we grew up with, poverty spirit, all sorts of different things that are limiting us, abuse, sexual abuse, and difficult to keep a wife or a husband. There's all sorts of stuff. So it's not that easy to get what you want because you've got such a lot of, a lot of things against you. But the truth is that what you have in your life right now is you've attracted. Everything in your life, it's you. You've actually made it happen. You are making it happen. Good, bad, and indifferent. You're making that happen. So in other words, you might as well then learn how to just get good in your life. Mightn't you? If you've put all that in, the good, the bad, and indifferent in your life, then why not kind of learn how to get rid of some of the bad and how to get more of the good? Really, that's what I'm wanting to encourage you doing, because that's what you're doing anyway. You're doing that anyway. And what I wanted to say is that it's fairly difficult. It's actually not that easy to steer this ship. It's like this picture is steering in those big stormy seas, and he's having trouble steering in the right direction. It's a lot like that. It's not easy to get the law of attraction actually working, to sail down the middle of your destination of where you want to go. It kind of veers off here and veers off there and won't go on the right track here and won't go on the right track there. We almost have to wrestle your life into the place that you want it to do. But you can do it. I have done it. I believe I am kind of 90% maybe. Just talking about those percentages and tiers. I believe that I've got my life really where I want it. and I know how to get it anywhere else, and I know how to get things and stuff like that. It's a fact, and I can help. This top of this magazine, it's a magazine from cover here from 1924. It says action, adventure, and a treasure trove. And that's what I'm suggesting to you, that the law of attraction and your life can have lots of action, lots of adventure. It's a treasure trove. There's lots of treasure to be had if you know and learn how to attract the right things and how to use the law of attraction to your benefit and to other people's benefits, of course, as well. Just want to tell you this story. At the end of the movie The Secret, somebody says that, do yourself a favor and right now go out and attract a cup of coffee. And would you believe it? I had no idea how to do that. It probably took me about 5 or 6 years before I actually figured out how to attract a cup of coffee in the way that they wanted us to. I thought, if I think about it, will it just come and materialize on my desk or on my table? And no, how you attract a cup of coffee, and perhaps you can go and do it yourself now, or maybe even some tea, is you just go to the kitchen and you make it, and there you have your cup of coffee that you desired and that you wanted. So it's not always that difficult, but it does take practice. So I want to encourage you, keep watching my videos and links. My blog's got quite a bit of stuff on it as well. Red Bow Tie blog, I can put a link on here with this one. So you can start looking through my blog, start getting your mind into a place where it's doing what you want it to do. You're thinking what you want to think. And you're attracting things into your life, and you're not attracting things that you don't want. That's one of the problems, of course. We attract a lot that we don't want. So I want to encourage you to do that. I want to thank you for watching. I want you to grow well. I encourage you, grow well. Let's grow. Why not? What else are we doing? We're not growing. Well, I always say we're not growing, we're dying. So let's grow well. Thanks, guys. Thank you very much. See you later.